Hello world, Dano here, stacking paper as always, and today we are reviewing The Knight of the Swords by Michael Moorcock, the first of the Swords trilogy, featuring Corum, I forget his middle last name, Ilinjahasi, whatever. What's important is we are so back. I was really worried for the Eternal Champion for a second there, because of how I felt about Von Beck and Elric in general. But Corum just is hard carrying the Eternal Champion right now. He's totally redeemed it. This book fixes a lot of the issues that I've had with most of Moorcock's writing thus far. It's much better paced. Much better paced. It has much better pacing. There's actually some world building here that is pretty decent. At least compared to Eternal Champion, it's the best world building of the Eternal Champion. There's actually like some built up lore instead of, it seems like in Elric and Von Beck, lore gets brought up when it's convenient, but there's no build up to it. Whereas Corum actually sets the stage really well. Every point of the narrative actually has a purpose, and it just doesn't meander like a lot of the other Eternal Champions do. You got the Vada and the Nada, these elder races who are just like used to war with each other but don't anymore. It's been hundreds of years. And the Mabden, aka regular humans, are rising up and killing all these people until Corum's the only one left. And I do like that in this book, Corum is the main character, and he does go on this adventure to, kill Ariok, which is cool because Ariok's the Elric's patron devil that gives him all his powers. So it's interesting that he is directly going after this guy. Elric wouldn't be able to take on Ariok at all. So it's kind of interesting, the power scaling. Corum is definitely up there. And it just all makes sense, man. When so full spoilers, obviously I'm going to go through the whole story, but it does meander a bit, at least I'll say in the beginning, but the setup is worth it. Corum getting maimed, gaining the Hand of Quill and the Eye of Rin. Shul in general, I think, actually is what makes this book so interesting. So Shul is this like wizard god that is trying to take out the Chaos Lords, and he knows that that's also what Corum wants, because Corum is just pissed that the Mabden killed his whole family. So he wants to go after the Mabden responsible. However, Shul shows him that the Mabden are really just a symptom, and that Ariok, aka the Knight of the Swords, is the real problem. Which is just convenient, because Shul just wants Ariok gone so that he can get higher on the godliness ladder. Shul's whole thing is he just wants to be the top dog god and then just have some fun. And there's a little bit of convolution as to why Corum teams up with him, but the gist of it is Corum loves this girl. Shul kind of has a hold over her, and if Corum does what he wants, aka kill the Chaos Lords, he'll set her free. So Corum is really he's so unimpressed and uninterested. Like, there's points where he just has this pride where he'd rather die than just do what this guy wants. And Shul is dude, mostly people would be jumping for this opportunity. I don't understand why you're so trepidatious. But when he finally does get his hand in his eye, that's where the story actually gets so interesting, because now he kind of has this symbiotic relationship with this hand particularly that is very similar to the one that Elric has with Stormbringer. It kind of has a mind of its own. It has sentience. It kind of goes out of its way to make Corum's life difficult, but hindsight 2020, the hand actually knows best. But it's interesting because with Elric, he has to fight the sword, but it's a sword that he can put down and pick up. Corum's is physically attached to him. It's an actual appendage, so he can't just throw it away. There actually is a scene where he tries to cut the hand off, and it just doesn't let him. So it's much more the stakes are higher with Corum. Also, just with the plot in general, he's going after the Chaos Lords themselves. He's just a regular guy going after literal gods. And well, I wouldn't say he's a regular guy anymore. He's a demigod. And Shul, I love how excited Shul is. Like, he's like, I've made a demigod. Like, this is so awesome. And Corum's like, dude, I hate you. And even the climax, like, I will say, I think Corum defeated Ariok rather easily. But that's because Ariok completely underestimated him. You know, there is, like, an adventure portion, but, like, leading up to the palace. But it's also, like, very quick. You know, he meets this king and these people that are totally okay with Ariok slowly wiping them out. Corum calls him a bunch of pussies. He's like, come on. And then the hand just kills the king, you know. So there's these little steps. But once he gets to the palace of Ariok, I really like that whole segment. I think it ends really strong. Ariok couldn't care less. He's actually, like, entertained by the fact that Corum is there. And he straight up tells him, he's like, yeah, like, I'll entertain you for as long as I want, and then I'll just flick you away. And Corum's like, I will not be flicked away. I'm not some rubbish. And Ariok's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, because, and this is the most interesting little twist at the end. So, Corum's whole goal is he has to steal the heart of Ariok, which is locked in this tower. Corum figures this out. And once he actually gets to the door and gets inside the room, he sees the heart and he sees a bunch of regular Mabden surrounding it that are kind of frozen in place. And they're clearly, like, trying to grab the heart. This is because Shul told him already that he had sent multiple people to try to steal it, but no one can do it. Except Corum. Corum finally gets it. He has the heart in hand. And as he's about to leave, Ariok starts laughing his ass off. Basically tells Corum, yeah, I actually wanted you to do that. Like, I'm not stupid. I knew why you were here. This whole game, this whole thing with Shul trying to take me over, this is just all just a fucking game to Ariok that he set up. He's like, Shul thinks he's so clever, but the whole reason is I couldn't get to my heart. And this is a little bit weird, but it kind of does make sense. So all of the Chaos Lords, after they destroyed the Lords of Law, because they're beings of chaos, they know who they are. They know, like, their nature, and they realize that they would just start going after each other. So in order to kind of weirdly impose law upon themselves, they all decide they're going to lock their hearts in a tower that they themselves can't access. Because without their heart, I guess they're more limited, so they can't influence the other 5 planes that each other regent is part of, right? There's 15 planes, they all control 5. So I guess having that heart, and this is, I mean, this does kind of annoy me about Moorcock, where he can just kind of, like, make up a rule, and that's just what it is, but it's soft magic, it's whatever. So they all agree to keep their hearts in this tower that they can't access. So Ariok tricks Shul into convincing people that this would kill him, so that he'll send Mabden to come after the heart. But if a Mabden actually succeeds, then Ariok will just consume the Mabden, get his heart, and then go after the other 2 Chaos Lords who don't have their hearts. So he would just be more powerful and kill them both. So this is all just, like, part of Ariok's real grand plan. But then, of course, at the end, you know, he's about to kill him, and Corum has the heart in his hand, and the hand of Quill just starts fucking crushing it. Ariok doesn't realize that he just sees Corum as just a regular dude, maybe slightly stronger than normal, but he knows that as a human he wouldn't be able to destroy the heart, or as a Vada, I should say. But he's got the hand of Quill. He has the hand of a god. And as he's crushing it, I love the switch up of Ariok. He goes from being so arrogant to literally just begging, like, oh god, please no, like, don't do this, and it's already too late. The hand, it's cool because Corum isn't even actively doing it. Corum doesn't even realize that this hand is powerful enough to just destroy this guy's heart. But the hand, again, mind of its own, just fucking takes him right out. And yeah, then at the end, you know, Ariok tells him, you've earned the bane of the sword rulers. My sister and brother are gonna fucking come after you now. Which actually amps me up for these next 2 books, which I'm gonna read immediately. Because Ariok underestimated him. I don't think these other two will. Now that they know Aryok's maybe not dead, but banished. Corum says he banished him, I guess, so I don't think these gods can be killed that easily. Obviously, because he's part of Elric's story, too, so maybe he just gets locked into Elric planes. Who knows? But all I know is now fucking Corum's got a target on his back. And also, here's the extra, not the extra ending, but so when Corum goes back to the plane where, not plane, but the island where Shul is, he gets teleported there by, I guess, one of the Lords of Law that's kind of just been laying low. And after he kills Aryok, he kind of shows back up. You know, classic 7th hour or 11th hour, you know, good guy intervention shit. He sends him back to where Shul is. Shul is just like decrepit and like decaying on a bed because all his power was actually coming from Aryok, and he didn't realize that. So I don't know, I love that. So he's fucking dying. Finds his girl Relina has locked herself in her room. Relina says, yeah, he's tried to like, you know, throw himself at me, and he's like transformed himself into you, and like he tried to take me. And fucking Elric just looked, or not Elric, Corum's like, dude, you tried to take my girl, you sent me on this quest, and and then you just tried to jump in my girl's pants. And Shul's like, hey man, I never said I was a good guy. It's just like Shul just does what he wants, but now he's just like, he's so pathetic, right? And just dying. He's like, yeah man, you overreached. You thought you were playing with Aryok, but Aryok was playing with you. Solid 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it was brilliant, but it was much better than the other Eternal Champions, and it was just a fun read. Honestly, I enjoyed this read more than any other Moorcock I've read so far. So yeah, on to the next one. Queen of the Swords coming up next. Let's hope Moorcock can keep this up. Anyways, till next time.